Tonight, I'm just going to be sharing a little about this Lionsgate. We've got this great Lionsgate portal. Hey guys, great to see lots of you joining us. So yes, we've got this Lionsgate portal, which a lot of people have been talking about. You may have seen all over Facebook and Instagram and in many places talking about this Lionsgate portal, or the 88 Lionsgate portal. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it for you guys tonight, because I know not everyone really understands what this is, but it does get talked about a little bit. So I thought it was kind of a good focus for us this week. So our Lionsgate portal is something that happens every single year, and it has in fact happened for thousands of years, and it was something that the ancient Egyptians firstly started tracking, and this is partly because it is a cosmic alignment that occurs at this time. So about the 8th of August, and it is when it's considered to be its peak every year. This is when it's considered that this cosmic alignment is at its peak, or it fully takes place. So we have the Orion's belt, which is those three stars that align in the sky, and we have the star Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky, or the planet Sirius, and this all lines up with the Great Pyramid of Giza um, uh, in Egypt, and that is what is all connected to the Lionsgate. So what does this do? That's something that's been tracked for thousands of years and considered to be very auspicious. And this is a time when we have lots and lots of cosmic light that comes onto our Earth at this time. So when this alignment occurs, we have a lead up to this time, and of course we have a time where it starts to kind of that energy will reduce, but at that specific time, that's when that cosmic gateway is considered to be really open. We've got like 24 hours approximately, where lots of cosmic light will come down onto our Earth. It is where our veils are really thin, and so we can more easily actually communicate with our guides, have more psychic experiences, have a lot more dreams. We can have a lot of healing energy that comes through for us. We can really experience a lot of things to assist us in our awakening and our ascension and on our spiritual paths and our spiritual journeys. So it can be a really beautiful time, but it can also be quite challenging as well. So in the lead up, we always have this building of this energy, because the energy gets stronger and stronger. It gets more intense in the lead up to August the 8th. And like I say, and then after that, we have this big peak, and then we have like this release of the energy. So it's not like we only experience energy on that one day. We actually experience energy in the lead up to it as well as after it also. So there's a lot of people that talk about the period with the Lionsgate being around, I think it was July 26th, that it kind of starts and there's that build up of energy. And then some say to about August the 12th, or like 8 days afterwards. It kind of varies, and I think it will vary individual to individual as to how much you experience and what you experience as well. So in this time, especially in the lead up, we often have a lot of our buttons being pushed, and that's not designed just to annoy us and aggravate us, but it's designed to actually start to get some of the clearing, so that we can be in a really great place to receive the energy, to receive downloads, to receive this cosmic energy in the best place possible on August the 8th. So if you've been experiencing what get called ascension symptoms, which I talked a bit about a few weeks ago, so things like exhaustion has been a really big one, aches and pains in the body, we can get headaches and migraines. There's been a lot of like ear buzzing, um, like the third eye kind of headaches as well, sore throats and flu type of symptoms. things connected around the heart palpitations, those kinds of things that can happen, or even just pressure around the chest, because we've got a lot of activation going on around our heart, around our throat, around, all of our higher chakras. That's why we're experiencing so much on a physical level that's of discomfort up around here, because they're really trying to clear our energies there. They're really trying to help open and awaken our chakras. Like I say, so that we can be in the best place possible tomorrow to receive as much of that light and that cosmic energy. It will also assist in activating some of our dormant DNA. There's a whole variety of things that tend to happen when we have things like our Lions Gateway in particular that occur. So they really try and bring through as much as they can at this time. So like I say, we've got lots of buttons that get pushed if we need some clearing done. And this is just our call to do some healing, to try and be gentler with ourselves while our body's trying to do some clearing, because that energy in the lead up to this is already activating some of that energy. It's already activating some of that clearing that's needed. So sometimes all you need to do is actually be being gentle with yourself and supporting that healing and clearing that's going on. And know that you can find that things like beliefs are really being tested in that lead up, to see, exactly what is it that we really believe. Are we really behind our beliefs? Do we have perhaps some belief systems that need to be tested, that perhaps no longer serve us, and perhaps we need to let go of and allow new belief systems to come in? So all of this sort of stuff tends to take place in the lead up to and at our Lion's Gate. So know that this could still be taking place for you now. You might have been having lots of the discomfort. I know for me, I've been getting that exhaustion. I know lots of people getting the exhaustion, because it's not an easy process on our physical bodies to really allow all of this energy to come through and to be doing the clearing, etc. So it's not an easy process. Um, and you may experience it not only tomorrow as well, but also like in the week after also. So just know that if that's still occurring, it's good to be conscious of where that's coming from as well. And I'm not saying don't go to a doctor if you're having like some serious physical issues going on. I always like to back that up. If you're really concerned, please get checked by a doctor. But if you are having some of these things, this is where it may be coming from. It might be connected. And look, the more sensitive we are, the more that we can honestly experience on those levels. So we might find we feel extra sensitive. Like I know I've had tears a few times this week, and I realize it's partly that sensitive energy that we've got going on at the moment, where we feel more connected to things. So we also feel more sensitive. So when something that perhaps comes along that's a bit sad, and we might perhaps normally just get sad, we might actually feel it really deeply and shed tears for that particular thing. That's part of the sensitivity that we might be experiencing at the moment, as well with the Lionsgate energy. So there's a lot of different things we can be experiencing at present with this energy. And tomorrow, and even tonight, the best thing that we can be doing for ourselves is actually trying to take some quiet time, trying to be open and receptive to the energy, try and do things like meditation and any of our spiritual practices that really help to empower us, that really help to heal us and to make us feel better within ourselves. That's the sort of stuff that I absolutely encourage you to be doing tonight and tomorrow and over the whole weekend. You really want to be doing some self-care and really taking care of yourself and being receptive. The last week, over the weekend and the week to come, I would really say pay attention to things like your dreams. If anyone's been finding they're having lots of dreams, or even if you're just having a few here and there, really pay attention to your dreams at the moment, because the veils are thin. You are very likely to be having messages that are coming through from your guides and from those in spirit and from universe. It's a great way that they can be bringing us guidance for ourselves, for our spiritual path, just for our life in general. It's a really great way they can bring that through. So pay attention to that, guys. but definitely we want to do things like meditation. If you're an automatic writer, this is a great time to take some time out and do automatic writing. See, you know, tune in with these beautiful cosmic energies. Sekhmet, the lion people, the Syrian people, all those beautiful light beings are really coming around us really closely on our planet at the moment. So they're really great energies. If you know that you have connections with them or you've got past lives with them, if you feel, even if you're not exactly sure what the connection is, if you're feeling a connection with those kind of light beings, and those like Sekhmet is a beautiful Egyptian goddess. So any of those kind of energies, they are definitely around us through this Lion Gate period. So definitely a good time to purposely ask to connect with them and to get guidance from them and to bring through healing from them as well as your own spirit guides and any of the other, ascended masters and energies that you're picking up on. Oh, and Bess is just mentioning that she didn't have a good night last night. Bad night with vivid dreams, woke up with an anxiety attack. Yep, that can be part of this Lionsgate energy. It's almost like a full moon energy. It's like, but on steroids. Like it's even more than a really big full moon energy. So it's more intense than that. So for anyone that is working in essential services and those sort of things as well, you may find that people act more like that. The sort of things we have happen over full moons. My sister's a nurse, and she hates full moons because things are usually, people are a bit more crazy, a lot more things happen. And that's certainly the sort of energy we can expect around this Lionsgate. It's not only us that are spiritually aware that are affected by this energy. We all feel it in some way and on some level, whether we're open and receptive to it or we're not. So, those people um, that aren't awake, that aren't really aware yet, they'll still be feeling it and experiencing it, but they can kind of get more in that crazy mode because they're not sure why they're feeling the way they are, why they're feeling more sensitive, why they're feeling more whatever, and so they find it harder to kind of be able to process it. Whereas when we understand it, um, we can at least go, oh, okay, now I kind of have a sense as to why I'm feeling so exhausted, or I'm having extra aches, or I'm having all these extra dreams and experiences. So we can have a bit more of an understanding um, to it and be able to work with it better and do things that support us through this time as well. So just getting back to some of the good things to do this weekend. As I said, meditation is great. Things like automatic writing, if you love doing that, I always find this is a really powerful time to do automatic writing. Um, Doing any kind of healing where you're either doing healing for others or that you're receiving healing for yourself, this is a beautiful time to do that. Do moon gazing and stargazing, so get out under this energy. um, you can cleanse your space. I love doing smudging, earlier in the day so that I feel like I'm kind of set for the day. Take time to talk to your guides or use any of the spiritual tools that you have and that you really resonate with, whether it's, perhaps sitting down and throwing some cards or using a pendulum or whatever it happens to be. But take some time to kind of self nurture and relax and take care of you, because you will find that you will get a lot more guidance and messages that come through at this time. And this energy, that's what it's really supportive of. It's to help you kind of move further along in your spiritual journey. So you'll find guidance and messages will come through to help you with that. You will find healing energy will come through to kind of, you will find yourself feeling more grounded and kind of more in a better headspace if you allow for that time for that healing to come through and to do some of that healing work for yourself as well. This is a powerful time for your own healing and for your own spiritual awakening and that further blossoming. That is exactly what this Lionsgate energy is for. It's for us to kind of blossom even more on our spiritual paths. So take advantage of this energy and ask specifically for guidance from your guides around, what's the next step for me in my spiritual journey. Um, or before you go to bed, set the intent. Please bring through guidance as to, what I should be doing, what will help me as a spiritual person, or what will help me further develop my psychic gifts, etc. So, ask. Don't be frightened to ask. Don't feel like you've just got to wait to get messages. Ask those questions when you're using your psychic gifts, your psychic tools. Before you go to bed, set that intent that they come and visit you and speak to you in your dreams. It's not always an instant thing that happens when we work on a dream level like that. Some people have really got, it's like that's how it works for them. But for a lot of us, we might have to set that intent for a few nights before we go to bed, before we have any experiences. So, but setting that intent is still worth doing because it will still come through. So pay attention to those things. Equally, as well as, we might be experiencing all the, I suppose, negative side or the ascension symptoms that can cause discomfort. We can also find ourselves in that beautiful flow at Lionsgate where all our intuitive stuff just seems to really flow. There's synchronicities. Like I say, there's dreams. Our psychic abilities seem to be more switched on, or we're having perhaps even psychic experiences we've never had before. We might be seeing things that we've not had before and hearing things really clearly, and just getting lots of insight and messages. So that is definitely something that can happen, and especially if we work with that clearing side, and we do our best to kind of nurture ourselves through that clearing, you can definitely find that the psychic side will be more switched on, and so which makes it even easier to get the messages and the healing that's coming through, or that our guides are trying to bring through. I definitely find with this thinning of the veils, I can feel my guides even more easily than normal. And I know I've been getting a lot more very quick messages and a lot more clarity around different things, especially the last few days. So, the next few days we will definitely be getting that if you're open to it. Remember, part of that psychic side is having our blinkers off as well so that we can see the signs and acknowledge them and be able to do something with them. So having our blinkers off so that we're more open to it is also really helpful as well. And I also find that it's really important to be mindful about where you're putting your focus and your energy, especially at times like the Lionsgate, where we can manifest really easily. What we put our energy into will really start to work for us and with us. So try really hard. I know it can be difficult with all the restrictions and the things that are going on, and everything that's going on around us that's not necessarily so happy and positive. But really try and put your focus into those things you'd like to create, you'd like to manifest. Put positive energy into the things that you want to help grow in a positive way, rather than putting your focus on more restrictions and more problems and all the things that we really don't want to grow in our lives. So I would invite you, especially in this next 24 hours where we're at the peak of the Lionsgate, to really try and be very careful about where you're putting your focus. Try and put it into positive things that you want to grow in your life in this next 24 hours. Maybe even if you get the opportunity just to kind of shut the rest of the world out and take a self-care day for you and do some meditation and do some of those things that is all about nurturing you and your soul and your family, then that would really be the most ideal thing. I know it's not always possible, but even if you can get in some time that is connected to you, then that would be really great over the Lionsgate especially. This is a time when, universe is really trying to help awaken us and support us in our spiritual journey. So that is essentially our Lionsgate, and where I would really encourage you to put your energy and what this energy is trying to help us to achieve and what you might be experiencing from it. It is something we experience every year. So the 8th of August, you'll hear many people talking about it every year. But this year, I really feel like it's a really powerful year with everything that's going on. There's a huge amount of shift and change that's going on the planet. So I really feel it's a real powerful energy that's coming through at the moment. So well worth if we can take at least a little bit of time to work with this energy and to receive some of the energy and messages. That's really ideal. Does anyone have any questions with any of that? I'm not sure if I have a lag with my internet tonight or if I just don't have questions. Beautiful. Thanks, Vanessa. I actually did have some crystals in mind. Um, so crystals that I would recommend with the Lionsgate. Um, so crystals I would recommend at the moment is selenite is a big one because it really helps with being able to work with ascension energy. It helps in raising our vibration. It helps with on many levels of what we're going through at the moment. So selenite is a really great one to carry with you or even hold in meditations. Tiger's Eye is a really good one because it also has that connection with Leo. Oh, and the other part that I forgot to mention is part of the reason that the Lionsgate gets its name is because the sun sign is actually, well, the sun is in the sign of Leo the lion, so that is also where it gets it. So the Tiger's Eye works really well with that lion energy also, or that cat energy, I should say. So tiger's eye is often a good one to work with, especially if you're feeling like you need a bit more grounding. So the selenite can tend to take you a bit more off the planet and open you in the higher vibrations. The tiger's eye will still work with those higher vibrations, but can help to ground you a little bit. So if you feel like, you're getting dizzy and feeling off the planet a lot, then tiger's eye is a great one to work with, especially golden tiger's eye, I find is a really good one out of those. Um, I've also been getting lepidolite is another great one to work with, which is a really nice purple stone that you can use as well. And especially if you're having trouble sleeping. So I know there's been lots of interruptions to sleep as well. And so lepidolite can also help us to get some of that rest and sleep. And I'd encourage burning some essential oils to help you with sleep as well if you're having dramas. So some lavender and chamomile and those kinds of calming blends are really great in helping us to sleep too. But definitely those would probably be the three main ones. Clear quartz is always a good one when you're doing any of your kind of spiritual work as well. How do we clear uncomfortable emotions? Um, that can be tricky. It's really person to person as to what kind of helps with those sort of things. Always when we're working with ascension energy and trying to help in that releasement process, doing things like having salt baths, adding perhaps some oils or some herbs to the bath often help. I find doing little processes, I like to do little burning rituals. So where you actually write down um, what's connected with those emotions, and it might be stuff that makes coherent sense, or it might just be words and things like that that have just kind of come up for you as you sit with the intent to write down, what I'm feeling at the moment to help release it. And then I will usually burn a candle, and a black or a white candle is really ideal for helping with that. Um, and then you can actually light what you've written down off of your candle and allow it to burn and turn into ash. And then I like to follow that with something like a bath, or perhaps go outside and do a little bit of grounding on the earth to help with releasing that kind of energy too. So there's a lot of different processes that we can do that kind of help with releasing emotions that are kind of coming up to the surface. definitely trying to be gentle with ourselves and trying to find a way that feels comfortable to allow them to come to the surface. So, like I say, for me, I find writing is a really good way to do that. And working with crystals like rose quartz is a really beautiful crystal. When we're having lots coming up on an emotional level, it'll help us to bring those emotions up and be able to do it in a little bit more gentler and nurturing way. So I hope that those ideas help you. Uh, uh, Mon says, any spells or rituals we can do? Is there anything that will help with the exhaustion? It's more about the exhaustion's coming from your body trying to assimilate a lot of energy and trying to work with the energy and also the activation of DNA and all those sorts of things that happen. So the exhaustion, there's certain crystals like your tiger eye will help with exhaustion. So working with certain crystals will help, but I think it's more about nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself through that time. Um, there's no specific spells I would suggest to do at Lionsgate. I think, it's more about whatever things that will help you on your spiritual journey. So, if you wanted to light perhaps a white candle, if that helps you with being able to sit and connect with your guides and the energies around you, then, that's really great thing to do and to work with your crystals. But there's no specific spells I would say you necessarily need to do at this time. Oh, beautiful. With the ash, um, I don't necessarily bury ash when I'm doing things like releasement. That's more if you're wanting to hold on to whatever it is that you've done the burning for. So when you do those kind of processes, I tend to more release the ash. So perhaps take it outside and release it in the wind, or allow it to be let go in some way rather than burying it and holding on to it. So roughly what date does the Lionsgate energy start? Oh, okay. So it is considered to be at its peak on the 8th of August. So essentially, if you want to try and be pedantic, it would be from about midnight tonight to about midnight tomorrow would be considered the Lionsgate peak. But remember, we've got that build-up of energy that takes place. So if you're having lots of those ascension symptoms and a lot of issues, yep, you'll find it'll be still occurring tonight and probably through tomorrow. Depending, you might have a releasement that takes place, and you start to feel release or relief from those things, and then it should start to ease off after tomorrow. So we kind of you might still experience some of those issues across the days after or even the week after, but they tend to start to lighten, and you tend to find you get a little bit more release from them as we kind of move away from the Lionsgate.